Boom, you guys are live.
Yay. Good for us.
We're so
I know. I just wanted people to take in the beautiful music in the background. Now you must dance. Go, dance party. 10-second dance party.
Drop
the
it.
beat now.
Oh, that's right.
Drop it.
Sorry. Good job, you guys. Way to work that beat.
People love to see 50-year-olds dance.
I know, right?
We got all the
That in
moves.
mind.
Exactly.
I guess
All
I
of
better
them.
go ahead and turn this music down. And it's off. Okay, good. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is our last show of 2023. And I have news, Ann Brothers.
Yes, Jenny Brothers.
This is our 100th show. I didn't tell you because I wanted it to be a surprise.
Congratulations.
100 shows? We've done this 100 times?
We have done this 100 times. And you know what? You'd think we'd be better at this.
Exactly. How come we're still making the same mistakes? It's
I
because
know,
people
well-
keep saying, oh, it's fine. It's funny. You guys are doing great. You're like, oh,
You guys are great.
okay.
You guys are great. We'll just keep doing this then. Yay. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Brother Sisters has turned 100 shows today. This is our 100th show. I know. We're so cool. And here's the funny thing, too. I was just reading the other day that 2023 was a particularly hard year for podcasts because I guess there were a lot of podcasts that ended because they didn't have the budget to run their podcast. I'm like, you need a budget for a podcast?
Budget for a podcast? What are they buying?
I know. I'm like, oh, okay. That must be
They
part of
must
the
be
reason.
paying themselves.
Well, it's producers and researchers and
Oh, we're the Jenny's the
engineers.
producer, and
I'm the
sometimes
producer.
we do some research.
So I see. There's like other stuff to do. Yeah, that's
Right.
clever.
like
Clever
they couldn't
bastard.
do it themselves. They just
Oh, they're not
I know.
trying hard enough.
or they
They
could
are
get their
absolutely-
14-year-old nephew to do it. You know.
Oh, do you have a 14-year-old nephew we can borrow?
Not a 14-year-old one.
You're just obviously not trying hard enough. So yeah. So anyway, and our 100th show, and I can't. Honestly, is there a better way to celebrate your 100th show than to have Chip Moehle, entertainment expert, with you on the 100th show?
I'm the unknown brother's sister.
Yes. He's the brother sister from another mother sister.
There you go.
That sounded weird. Actually, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like the next Netflix show. So, brother sister from another mister. There we go.
Intellectual property,
Yeah, exactly.
copyright.
Copyright.
God, copyrights are
Trademark.
so expensive. Fine. I'm learning just how, because we copyrighted the brother sisters, or we trademarked the brother sisters name, and I got to tell you, pricey. Damn.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, they the U.S. trademark, whatever that is, they'll bleed you hard for like literally everything you trademark. It's like $500. Oh, that's another
Whoa.
trademark. Here's another $500. So, bitches, sorry,
Oh my
just
God.
mad
See,
about
no
that.
wonder podcasters can't keep it going.
Yeah.
No kidding. They're paying for all the trademarks. Everything that falls out of their mouth, they're like, "Oh, that fell out of my mouth. I'm going to trademark mark that."
Trademark.
Yeah. So,
Is there-
you might have. Go ahead, Chip.
Is that a yearly fee?
No, that's just
One
one
time?
time, but
Okay.
still, that adds up. Especially,
Yeah.
if you like. Ann and I are pretty clever, so we like to think that everything that falls out of our mouth is worth trademarking.
Is gold.
So-
Exactly. That should go on a
No.
t-shirt. That should go on a
Yeah.
t-shirt. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. That's my next tattoo.
Wait, don't you have to have your first tattoo before you get your next
You
tattoo,
do.
Ann Brothers?
You do. But
Yeah.
I have a list of them
Generally.
that I'm going to, start when I'm like 70 and everything's finally settled on my body as to where it's going to be. Then I'll feel like, oh, then I don't have to worry about it like stretching out and not saying what I want it to anymore.
Exactly.
Nice.
Like it still looks
Holy
fresh.
crap. Look at Dave Barney's with us. Dave Barney. Not sticking around, but I thought I'd check and say Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Dave. Even though you're not sticking around, you can still like us and follow us and subscribe to us. So anyway, when we talk about New Year's resolutions, I've actually got a New Year's resolution for everybody, but we'll get to that in a minute. In the meantime, as you can
Just
see,
for me? Is it like a fortune cookie?
I
It's
just-
designed
I
just
think I
for
know
me.
what it is, but
it's
I
designed
can't
just for
say
you.
a
Yes.
word.
You might have noticed that Ann and I are wearing super special crowns / tiaras. Ann bought us special tiaras. Mine says 2024, and I'm
Mine
wearing
says-
2024 because Ann says Happy New Year. Mine says 2024. And the cool thing about yours, Ann, is that you're going to be able to use yours next year, and I'm not.
I know, that's the thing. It's like, it's timeless. Mine is timeless, except when the batteries wear
done.
out, and then I'm going to throw it in a landfill like everything else.
Well played, Ann Brothers.
Thank
Well
you.
All right. Anyway, I got to bring our thing into the show so that we can get to it. We got a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into this. I have named today. Fuck you,
wait, I can use that
2023,
word.
and welcome 2024, which should segue us nicely into our thing about who we are and what we do. Welcome back. If you are a new listener, here's the synopsis. We are Ann and Jeannie's brothers. We are sisters. We are really sisters, and therefore we are the brother sisters. We are in our 50s, which means that we're young enough to be okay using roundabouts. Okay.
I was going to say, my parents hate roundabouts.
See, and I'm 57, so I'm kind of on the cusp.
You're right there. You are close.
I'm kinda
So
like-
because boomers hate roundabouts, man. You want to get a boomer all fired up, you take them to a roundabout. You just watch the show. Okay.
Happy New Year, Sam.
Happy New Year, Sammy. We love you too. My friend Sam Adamsberger from Colorado. We love you. You are literally the best. So
Literally.
just want you to know that. Literally, not figuratively. You are literally the best.
Literally.
Yes. So anyway, roundabouts. We're just young enough. We're cool with roundabouts.
Just barely.
Okay. We talk about smart stuff, dumb stuff, fun stuff, any combination of the three. We are not cool or hip. We know this because we don't own any North Face, Patagonia, or Lululemon-based fashions. So we've not. What's that one from that one skit? We're not experimenting with North Face. So.
We are not experimenting with North Face.
The first high school football game I went to here in Michigan, I was like, good Lord, like just plastered with North Face 3/4 zip. Good God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
3/4 zip. Love it. Yeah, and the funny thing is that no one around here is climbing the North Face, because the North Face is, of course, a reference to the North Face of Mount Everest, and like nobody here is climbing North Face. Come on.
Midwesterners do not like to leave the country.
No.
Absolutely not. There's no mayonnaise there. Okay. Anyway, as Ann said, we are not sexy because all of our underwear is comfort based, and we don't have any problems discussing that in detail. I am currently wearing jockey underwear. God, just so comfortable.
Oh, I
Nice
like
and
Hanes.
fitting.
Mine are Hanes.
I think that's what I've got too.
Mhm, yeah.
Hanes, Hanes is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a fan of the jockey underwear for a long time. But
Whenever I can get
wear
like
that.
a buy one 50% off deal
Oh, yeah, at Meijer.
Kohl's.
Oh,
yeah.
at Meijer.
But, yeah.
Myers, Kohl's, Jockey has a jockey store at your local
Gotta get
strip
that Kohl's
mall,
cash.
or
Mhm.
no, it's not a strip mall. What is it? Outlet mall. There we go.
Outlet mall.
Because
There
I
we go.
spend so much time at outlet malls. Yeah. We are not a murder or a celebrity podcast, nor are we a podcast about murdered celebrities.
Dun
So,
dun dun.
Mm.
Yep. We have been told we're good to listen to if you don't want to feel alone during your alone time. Yay.
Also good to listen to while you're at work.
Oh,
I have found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. You can find us on our new website or Spotify or YouTube or Facebook or on the Instagram. Oh, that's right, you guys. We're everywhere.
exactly.
You can't swing a dead cat without finding a Brother Sisters podcast, because remember, there's 100 episodes.
100.
I know. 100. This is not a PG podcast or G or PG-13. As you can see by today's title, we do not shy away from bad words and sometimes naughty things. Though we don't talk about like super gross stuff. So we don't get super gross. We'll drop the occasional F-bomb or B-bomb or, stuff like that. Anyway. So let's see. Again, please join us on Spotify. That's going to be the New Year's resolution I talked to everybody about. That's what you have to do. Your job is to resolve to join and follow and synopsize and share us and make your friends share us, because that's what
Do
we
it.
want. Thank you, Chip.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we're going to start. We have a 2-part show today. The first part is our 2023 year in review, and the second part is making your resolutions, your Viva la resolutions, if you will. So here we go. Both Ann and myself and Chip, we have made short lists of the good things, and it wasn't just entertainment. When I put this out there this year, it was entertainment. It was just all kinds of stuff as far as what was good about 2023. What did we like? What did we not like? Here we go. We are starting with you. Oh, of course, Ann, I forgot to talk about dumb and fun stuff.
And
Each
smart
week
stuff.
we try to review the week and what we did that was either dumb or fun or smart. So go for it, Ann.
Well, I got together with my friend Dawn and Jenna. Dawn is Jenna's mother, and I've known Jenna since her birth, and now she's like she's gonna be 21 in 2024. I know, right? So we got together for sushi, and then in Ann Arbor, and then we walked around Ann Arbor. And that was fun. And then we got fancy desserts at Canelli, the place that does the French pastry.
Did you guys go to Ichiban?
We didn't go to Ichiban. We went to one, all the students are away in Ann Arbor. So we went downtown Ann Arbor, down to State Street, near State Street and Liberty, which you do not want to do during the school year. But during Christmas, they all leave. And so we went to this little sushi place that Duncan and I like, Totoro's. And Jenna was the only college age girl there. I mean, usually Duncan and I go there and we're the oldest people there. So
you're that cute couple that goes for sushi.
Exactly. One time we went and there was this young woman and this older guy like our age and this young woman like college age. And Duncan and I had a rousing game of father or boyfriend. And so we decided he was a father until they started making out like hard, like hard. And they were like, oh, boyfriend, back up.
You got fooled. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun place.
So yeah, folks, if you're not familiar with the game Father or Boyfriend, it is a game that the brother sisters have been playing with for years. You go out and you watch a couple and you're like, is that her father or is that her boyfriend? That father or boyfriend? I know it's gross. That's probably okay. But you're going to do it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not
try it out.
Exactly. You won't be able to go to a bar from now on and not find that one couple. You're like, ooh, father or boyfriend. Ooh. One time it was a grandfather or boyfriend. Turns out it was a boyfriend.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. See what we just did, you guys. This is called reticular activation, where somebody tells you to see something and then it's like, somebody said, look for red cars, and now all you'll see are red cars. Now all you will see is father or boyfriend. So sorry.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Exactly. Welcome to 2024. Yeah. So that was my fun. We had a lot of fun. It was a good afternoon. We had a lot of fun.
That's awesome. For me, I actually have been doing smart stuff. So I'm taking an American Sign Language class because I have to, I'm a teacher, and every 5 years you have to get enough recertification credits to continue to be a teacher. So you have to take 150 hours of recertification credits. And because I just moved back in 2021, I'm a little short. So I was like looking through, Michigan Virtual has a whole thing for teacher sketchy things. And so I found an American Sign Language class. And I got to tell you, it's actually interesting. I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually learning something neat and useful.
Jenny, I wonder how many continuing education classes your dentist or doctor has to have.
Right.
Oh, wait, none.
Okay, then. Yeah, I know. It's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's on my own dime because,
Because,
yeah, great. All right, so that's my cool smart thing is that I'm actually taking a professional development that is worth my time. So finally, at last.
Well, every 20 years, whether you deserve it or not.
24, and brothers, 24. Okay. All right. So here we are. What we liked. We are going to start with me. I'm going to start this off. And so I just went with entertainment things that I liked, and then other stuff that I liked. So some of the entertainment movie books things that I liked. I really liked season 2 of Somebody Somewhere, the first season of The Last of Us, especially episode 3, which was a miraculous piece of TV. Mm-hmm. I'm late to the game on The Bear, but my God, The Bear is a stunningly good TV show. Oh, I just watched it and I literally turned around and watched it all over again because I had to. That's how much I love The Bear. Poker Face, which is this dumb show on Peacock, and it's an old school procedural Murder She Wrote Columbo sort of mystery, and it's just entertaining as hell. It's nice, it's entertaining. I enjoy what's her name? Natasha Leone. I made it through the first season of Succession this year, and I loved it, and I hated it. It made both of my lists because it's such a great show, and it's so compelling, and everybody sucks. Everybody sucks on that show.
And nobody improves. Spoiler alert, nobody improves.
Nope.
Yeah. I enjoyed the first season, and the second season, I was just too grossed out by all of them. And I could not continue.
Yeah, everybody on that show is horrible. You can root for nobody on that show. You might think you're starting to root for somebody, and then you're like, oh God, they're horrible too. So yeah. I finally got around to watching the final season of Dairy Girls. This premiered the year before. Finally got around to seeing the entirety of season 3 of Dairy Girls, and what a delightful show that show was. 3 seasons on Netflix. It's about this group of Irish teens in the 90s, and it's their school experience, and it's just bonkers and so much fun. And you have to watch it with subtitles because they all have a thick Northern Ireland accent, and it's just genius, and I love it
I'm
so
like, I
much.
swear to God, they're not speaking English.
I learned fun new phrases watching that show. Yeah, can't you
Crackers.
sound fun? Sorry. As far as movies, I didn't really see a lot of movies this year. I was not compelled. I don't like going to movies, and so it really has to be a big thing to get me in a movie. So Cocaine Bear got me into the theater this year. We actually discussed Cocaine Bear. Oppenheimer got me into theater, Barbie movie, and they were both amazing. The Menu, which I did not see in theaters, it premiered on HBO last January. What a great effed up movie that is. Holy mackerel. Great horror movie. So much dread. Awesome. I read the book Lessons in Chemistry this year, which I thought was amazing. I did not watch the series only because I currently do not have Apple TV. I thought Jennifer Lawrence's performance in No Hard Feelings was really great, despite the fact that that was an awful movie and so terribly written. She really worked her butt off in that movie, and I felt bad because the material did not live up to the work she put in. And I finally got around to reading the book Devil in the White City this year, and that book is amazing. It will make you look at Chicago very differently with different eyes. Let's see other stuff. This is just other things that I thought were particularly good this last year. Dinner with Lynn Brand in July. Lynn is the reason that we kind of revamped and kind of expanded this podcast. It was her fault. This is all her. So she demanded a podcast out of us, and so that's what. So that dinner in July with Lynn was pretty profound for us. I met my friend Lori in La Crosse. We had a really nice birthday tea with my Aunt Julie on her birthday, or a little bit. Yeah, it was about her birthday weekend, which was really lovely, and it was kind of our last hurrah with her. So that was really great. I can look on that and just be really satisfied and really pleased that we got a chance to do that. That's how I also felt about Dad's birthday weekend at Brick and Brine. We had a fun Thanksgiving. Ann Brothers and Joe Peters are two of the people that in my life that I'm really grateful for, as is my friend Lori, my friend Sammy. I just feel really lucky that I have a lot of really great people in my life, and that was a good thing. I'm excited for my stepdaughter, Sarah, who has escaped teaching and is moving on to bigger and better things. I'm thankful for Goodfoot Movers out of Grand Rapids who came and moved us twice. Let's see. I enjoyed going to Marquette in the fall. I know this is a terrible thing to say, the Ocean Gate fiasco, as did Leah Berube. She was one of the feedback. I know enjoy is the wrong word. We were neck deep in the horrors of our Colorado trip of 2023. And it was literally the thing that you could just be like, this really sucks. What's happening with Ocean Gate? Like,
exactly. I was like, no, I don't want to listen to the news, but I need to know what happened in with those people in the sub. I'm like, oh, we're searching the ocean, listening. I'm like, oh boy, if that's you're listening in the ocean, I think you're fucked. Turns out they were
big. They're gone. I know that's terrible. Cafe Sante in Boyne City, which is a really excellent French restaurant. Principal in Kalamazoo. Let's see, making red chili at Christmas time. The Treat Box. Okay, those are my good things. So the things I liked 2023. Those, and I had to kind of work for some of that because it was kind of a tough year. All right, Ann Brothers, hit me.
All right, so television that I liked was The Last of Us. First season of that, The Great British Baking Show. I love that show, and this latest season was delightful. I'm in the almost finished watching Fargo. They're almost finished with the season, so it's I think the 4th season of Fargo. It's the best one so far.
Season
5th.
5.
It's the best one so far, and all of them have been fabulous. And then a show on Apple was Severance. Oh man, that is a fucked up show. And the thing is, like the first,
Adam Scott.
Yes, the first 4 episodes, I'm like, boy, I don't know about this, but I kept watching it because I wanted to see if they could pull themselves out of this tailspin they seem to be getting themselves into. Damn. I was like, as soon as it was over, I was like, second season right now, right now. It was amazing. It was amazing. Like, really interesting story. I'm like, I've never seen a story like it. So Yeah, Severance. My movies this year, again, didn't see a lot of movies, of course, with the writer's strike. The Barbie movie, I saw 3 times in the theater. That's how much I loved it. Duncan and I just saw Poor Things a couple weeks ago.
How was that?
Oh my God. That's my favorite movie of his so far.
Okay.
And oh man, I can't wait to see it again. It's Frankenstein meets Hero's Tale. It is amazing. And then I can't say enough good things about it, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Only that Mark Ruffalo is going to get nominated for an Oscar.
What now?
I mean, they're all going to get nominated, but Mark Ruffalo, I mean, when I saw that he was in, I was like, wow, talk about a weak link. I'm like, is there a superhero or something in this movie? I'm not kidding you. I'm watching this. I'm like, I'm watching an Academy Award winning performance. And
Nice.
everybody's was, but his, you wouldn't. Ugh. And then, of course, The Menu. I like a nice fucked up movie, and it, you know, you can't quite think of a fancy restaurant ever the same way again.
No, you can't. You cannot.
Order the cheeseburger. Order the cheeseburger. Anyway,
Well,
you know, the thing
that
is I liked
cheeseburger's
about
gonna
this
save your life.
movie, and we did talk about it once before, was that usually when you have a horror movie that involves food, some always ends up cannibalism. They don't do that. I am going to give that away. There's no cannibalism in
Okay.
this movie, which is
Fully
the easy
expecting.
way to go.
Fully expecting cannibalism in this movie,
Yeah.
and it did not. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Rich people.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, podcasts. I included podcasts because I did. I'm sorry to hear that podcasts are having a hard time in 2023 because that's when I really started to get into them. This one, Jenny, when I first started listening to Digging Up the Duggars, and it's about the, the one of those super Christian families that has all the children they have until the mother's uterus falls out. You know, so it was popular in the aughts and in the early like 2010 or something, and their son ended up being a pedophile. Anyway, it was a mess. But I never really watched the show. I just would see it in the periphery of my life, wondering when they were finally going to implode, and they did eventually. But the couple that does this, Tim and Whitney, they're in their 30s and they think they're old, which is so cute. That's what happens when millennials think they're old. It's super cute. And they're hilarious together. But then after they do they talk about an episode, then they do a deep dive. Whitney does this deep dive, and she has done an excellent job of uncovering the people and how this whole nasty business started. It is really good.
Okay.
And their first couple of episodes were the sound wasn't right. You know, you could tell okay, we're going to do a podcast, press play. You know, they're
Wait, speaking of that, hang on. I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Hey, Joe, if you're watching this podcast, we can hear your ukulele. So can you take the volume down on that?
Anyway, so they just do a great job of it. And I once Jenny said, "Hey, I want to put this on Spotify." And I'm like, "No problem. We won't be the worst."
Yeah.
The Exploress, this woman is awesome, especially her season about the Tudors. What it was like to be a woman in Tudor times. And then she also talks about women in ancient Greece and ancient Rome. She has several other seasons, but those are her 2 best seasons. She's a lot of fun. Maintenance Phase, which is
That's a good one.
Oh, it's a great one. Aubrey Gordon and Michael Hobbs, just really taking apart the health and wellness industry. If Books Could Kill, also with Michael Hobbs and another podcaster. His name is Peter, and I can't remember what his last name is. But they do a great job of dissecting basically self-help books. It is hilarious.
Ooh.
And then you're wrong about what she does, Sarah Marshall. She talks about things that we thought we knew and we don't. And one of her best episodes, it's the reason why I started listening to her, was she does this whole thing on Tanya Harding. That was amazing. And then she does an amazing job with it. She and Michael Hobbs started out together, and now she's on her own, but she just does a really good job of taking this subject that you think you know something about and then really informing you. It's just very interesting. And you're like, oh man, maybe I was an asshole in the 90s.
I was.
We were all assholes in the 90s. Duh.
Exactly. So she was a great. So these are all awesome podcasts that I cannot get enough of, and I get so sad when I go through the backlog and then I have to wait like a sucker.
Yep.
So, but I do anyway. So those are the 5 podcasts I had a great time with this year. Other stuff, My Fuck It Bucket. That's from Jenny. I saw a lot more live theater this year. I saw Book of Mormon, and I saw my friend Chip
That's
there.
right. I saw you guys there.
Book of Mormon, The Six, which is about the Six Wives of Henry
Ooh.
VIII. So good.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah. We saw this at EMU. We saw the excavation of Mary Anning. That was great. We saw that at Eastern. And then the two, it was like Murder for Two Christmas edition. We saw that at the Williamston Theater. It was very clever and funny. So yeah, I did 3 5Ks with people I love this year. That was fun.
God.
That's a great way to like do something with people because I'm not going to run, but you walk and then you go out to dinner. It's a great way to like catch up with somebody you haven't seen for a while and then get a t-shirt.
It really
Yes,
is.
and get a
Mhm.
t-shirt.
Glass Art Kalamazoo. I took 2 bead making classes. I just signed up for my 3rd so I can join their Journey Bead program. Yoga. I did a lot more yoga this year. I'm trying to like be in the moment. Hi,
Good.
Chip. We're
Hi.
here together.
We're here. We're present.
We're present.
We are the present.
We are.
You
Merry
were present
Christmas.
together.
I did 2 different fun events with the Detroit History Club. We did the Easter egg hunt, and my team, including Janice Brothers and Maggie and Jeannie Caselli, we were the magnificent woodpeckers of von Steuben. And then we also did the Houdini Ball. Duncan and I went to Toronto. That was fun. We did a Detroit tour in an antique car with my friend Liz and Johnny, and Johnny's actually Duncan's brother, but I don't like to say Liz is my sister-in-law. I mean, that's fine, she is, but really she's my friend. So Egg Prize, which is it's this giant vending machine with art in it, and I love it. And you find it at Art Prize and other places, and I found it like 3 times this year, and I was like, I have 20,000 quarters.
I am not afraid
So-
to use them.
Exactly. So, of course, Halloween. Halloween's my favorite holiday. The Brother Sisters, the Janice Brothers, and of course, Janice Brothers. Brick and Brine, the restaurant, their seafood bowl, and their personal baked Alaska baby. Aunt Julie.
awesome.
Lynn Brand. Lynn Brand saved me in high school from becoming a cashier in Sturgis, Michigan at the Miller grocery store and marrying Arthur Bowman. She made sure that I went to college where I met Chip.
It was a wonderful time.
God bless.
Exactly. And
We
then
were brother and sister.
exactly. So Lynn Brand has come and stepped into my life a couple times and helped me out.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thanks, Lynn. Of course, Liz Williams, my friend Jeannie Caselli, Duncan Williams, my husband, Sam, who helped us out so
she
much.
saved us in Colorado.
She saved us in Colorado. this year.
Colorado.
She's the first person that said, like, well, who's helping you guys? I was like, somebody should help us.
I know that we've told everybody the story of our trip to Colorado.
It was
probably won't.
I don't,
It wasn't
man.
great. It's not great.
Anyway, I also other good stuff is Kim, Shannon, and Kristen. I had to manage an estate this year, and these 3 women professionally helped me out. Not in ways that they didn't. How they helped me, money cannot pay for. So that was. I just wanted to thank
Well,
them.
And the good news is I'm pretty sure both Shannon and Kristen are going to join us at some point as guests on the show. Shannon is a financial advisor, and Kristen she's an estate lawyer. She's a family. She basically she works with family estate planning. So family planning lawyer, and awesome.
And Kim helped me sell my aunt's house. So she's an amazing real estate agent. So all these women were taking my
Kim's gonna be
calls
on the
and my
show, too,
emails.
Oh, I
and
like
she's
that.
like
Mhm.
in the house right now, so we'll have to put her on the show too. So
Yes,
just so you know,
indeed.
Kim.
And of course, vending capsule machines. I bought one this year.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I love it. Yeah,
Do you put stuff in it?
I do.
I love it.
So
So
if you
every day
come-
you have a little something.
Well, if you come to my house, I have quarters there, and you have to.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I have to sidebar on that for a second. Like when we were in college, we had a great professor named John Capecci who used to keep in his office a jar just full of little tiny toys. And it was called a jar of whimsy. And so I've made that for a few people over the years, but I love this. This is
Yeah.
like jar of whimsy, like
Yeah.
huge.
So we used it at my Aunt Julie's celebration of life, and I was like, yay! I love it.
That's awesome. I love that.
Bunzier Cakes, of course, I'm very thankful for. Audible, obviously, based on all my podcasts. Jenny had a roommate in college, Amy Samoa. She makes the most hysterically bonkers Christmas cards, and every year I look forward to it. And then, of course, stickers.
Yeah.
I love stickers. It was a good thing we did this, Jenny, is because I was thinking about how shitty 2023 was, and after I made this list, I realized I had a lot of good things this year. So
All right, you just said that the things that happened this year that were bad were so big and bad that they take up a lot of time and space in your
Mhm.
head. But in reality, you do manage to find all these other really great things. And you're like, oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That was fun. And so, and that's what I know there's actually there's a scientific name for that because your brain manages to hook on to memories that are really unpleasant. And that's a mechanism for when you hurt yourself to not do it again. And so your brain is especially good
Mhm.
at holding on to things that are unpleasant as a way to not repeat them. So that's why when things that are really bad happen, you tend to remember what you were doing and where you were because your brain is literally built to do that. So I
Oh,
know.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
it's
all
a
right.
survival thing because we're just big dumb animals, right?
Kind of fight or flight
yeah.
on a bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Scale.
On a bigger scale.
Correct.
Hey, you survived. Now don't do that again, stupid.
Yes.
All right.
So, Anne, you also included a big ass list of books here.
Big ass list of books.
It
Needed its
needed
own
its own
page.
page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Wishing Pool and other stories. Every October, I tried to pick a book, a fiction book that's all short stories, scary short stories. So and that was the Wishing Pool and other stories. It was great. Oh, it was so good. The Rovers and Head Full of Ghosts. Actually, the first 3 books were all recommended horror novels that I heard on NPR. The Rovers. If I was teaching a class to college students, I would use The Rovers and Of Mice of Men as a compare and contrast because they're very similar stories. Just one's about vampires, but oh man, it was so good. A Head Full of Ghosts. I'm not into possession stuff as horror. I think it's trite and boring and repetitive. But in this case, a young girl gets 14, 15. She is supposedly possessed. Actually, she's just very mentally ill. And the family doesn't have the money, of course, to pay for her treatment. So they make it a reality show. And that's why I decided to read this novel, because I'm like, it turns out that the monster in the book is us.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna, that's all I'll give away, but
reality television.
Otherwise I would have never read it. I was like, oh, possession's boring, but I was like, oh, so that was very interesting. I also read Bad Fat Black Girls, Notes from a Trapped Feminist. Really excellent. I wish I'd read it when I was teaching. You Just Need to Lose Weight and Other Myths About Fat People, Aubrey Gordon, who is on the podcast I listen to, Maintenance Phase. Okay. Cultish, The Language of Fanaticism. Ooh. I love cult podcasts because it's like a car crash. Anyway, I was listening to Amanda Montell. I didn't think her podcast was particularly awesome, but I really did like her book. And she's a linguist, so it was fascinating. The Women's House of Detention, A Queer History of Forgotten Prison. Oh, that is so good, Chip. It was wonderful. The Hidden Lives of Tudor Women, because I'm kind of obsessed with the wives of Henry VIII. So, but that doesn't just talk about the wives. It talks about what women's lives were like during this period in England. The Devil in the White City, Murder, Magic, and Madness at the Fair That Changed America. And Eve Bites Back, which is an alternative history of English literature, which was kind of narrowly focused. It was only focused, I think, on 7 authors, but it makes you, when like everybody laments, like, oh, all of her letters are gone. They tore them up into a million pieces. All her journals got burned by the family. I'm like, after going through this with my Aunt Julie, I can see why the family burns everything. So, and really if you're an author or somebody that produces art, you want to be known for your art, not necessarily for your person. Yeah. So it made me rethink how I think about, like, what do I need to know? Yeah. So it was very interesting.
You don't need to know much. No.
You really don't.
No. Agreed.
No, it's funny.
All right,
I think
Chip.
That Jack Nicholson used to say that he doesn't do interviews because he wants you to, take that leap with him as to who he is in character and not who he is in real life.
I like it.
Segue.
Chip, what did you like this year?
I liked the weather. Now, if you notice, my list is much tinier than everybody else's. It was weird trying to come up with these lists. Like I don't know if it's amnesia. I don't know what it is. But one thing I really did like this year was the weather, because it was so nice and mild. Now, as I said today, when I started coming here, snow was falling, and I was like, like, if we can just get through the next few months with minimal snow, I'll be happy. But
snow makes everything 40% harder.
Even the summer wasn't that hot, and it was just lovely. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm like a high 60s. I'm good. Just make it like that all the time. And I like overcast and I like rain. So I lived in LA for 25 years and it was just always sunny and the sun never goes away. And it's like a boyfriend. Like, how do I miss you if you never go away? And people get so upset when it rains, like, oh my God, it's raining. And I'm like, yeah, I know the other 364 days of sunshine must really. But yeah, I did. I enjoyed the weather. It's funny. I'm trying to think as you guys are talking, I'm making notes of things that I want to look into that you liked. And then things too that I was like, oh, I forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about that. A lot of what I put on these lists were entertainment because that's generally what I come on here and talk about. Mm-hmm. It's funny though. I'll say this has been one year where there's not been a lot of things that have stood out for me. We were talking about movies. You guys don't like going to the movies. I enjoy going to the movies. I like the experience. I go by myself. I like the little reclining chairs. I like that they bring food to me. I'll bring a blanket, and I enjoyed that experience. I think because it takes me out of real life. Mm-hmm. Pardon me. As Chip jokes to death live on.
Chip, do you need a moment? We can fill it in.
Can you? Vamp for me.
Absolutely.
Dun, dun, dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, dun, vamp, vamp, vamp.
But before I get to the entertainment stuff, there was one. Thanksgiving for me was lovely. We had my uncle and his wife and their daughter, my cousin and her husband came and stayed with us for the week of Thanksgiving. And I just always love when we get to see them. They're just so much fun. And, they're not the kind of relatives like that you have to take care of. Like they come in, they make themselves comfortable. If they need to get something, they'll go get something. And I've always enjoyed them all my life. So that was really a fun bit of time over this last year. But back to the entertainment, not a lot of films that made me go, oh yeah, like I gotta go see this movie. I wrote down Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is really a streaming movie. President's Son and the Prince of England fall in love.
Oh, I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'm not going to like this thing at all. And one of my friends is just fanatical about this movie and made me watch it. And it's more than what you would think it would be. And it's really kind of tender and it's a little bit explicit. And it's just not, it's not like I thought, oh, this is going to be a Hallmark movie with gay men in it. Mm-hmm. And it's not. And there's funny bits in it and there's serious bits in it. And there's, Uma Thurman plays the president. It's marvelous. I just really liked it. And of course, everybody in it is so friggin' attractive. So that's lovely for the eye candy. Of course, I'm also like, could we just please maybe get a few realistic looking people into these films?
No.
Good Lord.
Nobody wants to see that.
I know, right?
Like, no, that's so cute.
I know, right? What am I thinking? The Supermodels, which is a documentary on Apple Plus about the supermodels. Cindy Crawford, Linda Evangelista, Naomi Campbell, and the rest, which I was surprised that I enjoyed. Like I remember back in that time in the 90s thinking, who gives a shit about these people? Right. But I always loved Linda Evangelista for saying, I don't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day. And I thought that was brilliant. Apparently that was a bit of a career ender for her in many ways.
Yeah, we don't want to hear a woman say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely not.
It was funny. She says in the documentary that she kind of regrets saying it. And I thought, no, you like stand up for that stuff. Mm-hmm. But it was, it was an interesting, typical tale of, a rise of someone or someone's to a point, and everybody's there for it and everybody helps it along and everybody, and then suddenly everybody goes, I don't like this anymore, and turns against them and stops using them and stops, starts talking about them. And it was just, I don't know, I found it fascinating, more fascinating than I ever expected. And that's why I put it on the list. The other I liked in the theaters, I liked Oppenheimer. And the other one that I didn't put on there, which was the re-release of the Talking Heads' Stop Making Sense.
Okay.
I was not a big fan of the Talking Heads in high school. In college, somewhat. And I still wouldn't call myself a big fan. I don't own all their records or anything, but I have a number of their songs that I like. Mm-hmm. And about 3 years ago, I finally rented Stop Making Sense and watched it on TV and really was just like, this is awesome. I mean, it was back before people were really putting any kind of narrative into their live concert shows, and there was choreography, and it was just amazing, lots of energy. So my brother's a fan as well. So when we saw that they were re-releasing it, we went and saw it at the movie theater, and was just like, this is like seeing it on the big screen. We just had such a great time. So
That's cool.
if it ever comes back to the big screen, go see it, because it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And it was, I think it was Jonathan Demme was the director. And it was filmed at the Pantages Theater in Los Angeles, what I've been to for a couple of live shows there. So it was like, that was the Pantages. Like I was there, I was at that theater. TV, well, let's do albums. Everything But the Girl in Depeche Mode. Here we're talking, people who were popular in the 90s and 80s.
In the 90s, yeah.
But who Depeche Mode has continued to release albums over the years. Everything But the Girl stopped somewhere in the 90s. And then just suddenly this year, we're like, hey, by the way, we have a new album. And I thought, oh, okay, well, we'll see.
Let's see how that goes.
And I absolutely adore this album. Like it literally kind of picks up where they left off. Some good ballads, some good dance stuff. Her voice has kind of matured, and she sounds a little more like Alison Moyet when she sings. And I can't stop listening to it. Depeche Mode, their new album, I've listened all the way through once. There's a few tracks on it that really have gotten my attention. And it's interesting. There's one called Ghosts Again. The album it's called Memento Mori, which I think means remembrance of death or something like that. And a lot of people think, because one of their bandmates died this year, and they think the album's about that. But a lot of these songs were completed before he passed away. And there's one song called Ghosts Again that has that same kind of driving beat as I'm old, I can't think of the there's a video where he's dressed as a king and he goes walking, and I can't think of the name of that song, but it has the same kind of rhythm to it. But they're talking about, sort of grief and sadness and death, and how these things come, and that they will always come. So I think that's one thing, before I go on to the TV shows, that really kind of struck me this year was a lot of what I liked, and a lot of what as I'm looking back on it, is very sort of nostalgic and sort of sad and a little heavier. And I thought, well, that's interesting. But at the same time, I fall asleep listening to The Big Bang Theory. Like that just plays on a loop for me at night, because I need something to buoy that. But there are times when I'll be watching things and I'm like, okay, enough of this heaviness. But looking back at this list, I'm like, everything was kind of had a heaviness to it. One of the other songs too that I'll mention is Katie Lang, who hasn't recorded an album in like a decade. When Tony Bennett died this year, the Sunday morning CBS show asked her to perform one of his songs for one of their segments. And she did the song Because of You. And it's so beautiful. And she recorded it, and you can get it on your streamers and everything. So I would suggest finding that as well. I absolutely loved it. And she sounds just as amazing as she always has. So let's see here. TV shows, The Bear. I'm totally with you guys on The Bear.
I haven't seen it yet. I've only seen 2 episodes, so I'm still.
The first season knocked my socks off, and didn't realize they were going to do a second. I was glad when it just suddenly appeared. Yeah. And then just couldn't get enough. I mean, the acting on it, the writing on it, you follow it like it's a real life thing.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Lee Curtis pops up, and it's like, wow, like she got that Academy Award this year. But this performance in The Bear is miles beyond what she did in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like,
it's so good.
Not something that I thought she had in her. And I had to keep watching it. I mean, I teared up, cheered for her, teared up again. So that episode where we see the Christmas dinner, she's amazing in. But then later in the season, that last episode where she comes to the restaurant, it's so heartbreaking. For everybody, and like you're just like, this is it's so good. It's such a great show. I'm anxious to see if they continue her storyline into the next season. Oh
no, there's work to be done with that family, that's for sure.
There definitely is. But there's a show called
blew me away.
there's a show called The Diplomat on Netflix with Carrie. Oh, how come I can't remember anybody's name? She played Felicity.
I never watched Felicity.
Let me see
Geez.
if I can come up with it.
But anyway, she plays a diplomat, and
Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell, thank you. And it's a bit one note, but she's so good at it.
Mhm.
Like, you know, you like seeing this strong woman who has an Achilles heel, and you know, is kind of willing to continue to make this one mistake over and over again. But I really enjoyed it, and it was another one of those where I started watching it after all the episodes had dropped. So I just was watching and watching and watching, and then suddenly it ends, and I'm like, what? Oh, there's only it's a season, duh. So I'm like, I that happens to me a lot. Like I'll be like, oh, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna watch this, and then they'll show 5 episodes, and it's like, now you got to wait a week for number 6, and I'm like,
Oh, I hate that.
God.
I do too.
No.
It's always
Just
so
drop them all at
disappointing.
once.
Don't
The
do that
last,
anymore because then you might like it.
exactly. Well, and it also makes you pay for your subscription. You know, like,
I'm gonna watch them all at once, and then I'm canceling.
And then I'm canceling.
Yep.
I often would do that with CBS. I would be like, let's watch The Good Fight, and then beat it in. Let's see. Let's go with The Last of Us, because you talked about that. It was one of those that I did not expect to like. I wasn't going to watch it. I'm like, another zombie television show. Just what we need. You know, like florals for spring, groundbreaking.
Brilliant.
And everybody kept going on and on about the 3rd episode. So I watched the first one and I thought, oh, I don't know if I can do this, because it just reminds me too much of The Walking Dead, the first episode. And everybody's like, stick around, stick around. And I'm glad I did that. 3rd episode is brilliant. I wish the rest of the season lived up to that level. Yeah. But it still was great. And I'm anxious to see where they're going to take it in this next season.
Yeah, same
Plus, they had really great guest stars.
Oh yeah.
You know, Anna Torv from Fringe, and I mean, just, you know, like people were just popping up here, like, who, how? Well, that's marvelous. So, there's a show on Apple Plus called Shrinking with Harrison Ford, and it's from the same producer who did Cougar Town and Scrubs and Ted Lasso, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious, and it's, I don't know if sad's the right word. But they're all shrinks. They're all psychiatrists. But at the same time, Harrison Ford's character has palsy or something. And so I enjoyed it. I found it very funny and very touching. And I'm looking forward to the 2nd season of that as well. And then The Fall of the House of Usher. I can't say enough things about The Fall of the House of Usher. Like this guy, Mike Flanagan, who... There's 4 series right now on Netflix. Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly House, Midnight Mass, which is brilliant. And then this one, Fall of House of Usher, which is loosely based on a lot of Edgar Allan Poe stories and titles. And there's a character on it who, for my money, she's death. But she just keeps popping up throughout. And you don't find out till the end really kind of what her part in everything is. And she's played by Carla Gugino, who's one of the most brilliant actresses. And it just, as you watch it, there's a scene at the end where, and Mark Hamill's in it too. And there's a scene at the end where she's talking to this guy, and it's this rich family that owns a pharmaceutical company. So clearly they're not nice people. And she's talking to a guy at the end, and she says, you know, famine and war and homelessness, all of it could be fixed with money, and yet you don't do it. And I was like, I love this show. It's marvelous. So, but again, not happy, you know,
Not at all.
everything kind of sad. Let's see what else. Severance. You mentioned Severance. Oh my God. Patricia Arquette.
Oh, Patricia
Arquette is just.
Oops, that was me. I'm sorry.
I can't hear. Oh no, wait, I can hear. She is just a tremendous actress, and to watch her on this show, sometimes you're watching her and you're thinking, she's playing Meryl Streep from Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
Yeah,
it was so fun.
Play.
Yeah, it's a great show, and she does a great job.
she does. She just knocked my socks off. There was just a couple of Oh, there was a couple of podcasts. One is called You Must Remember This, which is sort of a Hollywood woman goes back and some of it's good, some of it's not. You can tell that she has a bias towards some things. And those are the ones where you're like, okay, I don't need this season. But and then there's one, and I don't know the actual title, but I didn't know there were quite so many actual murder houses in the United States, but particularly in Los Angeles. And one in particular, yeah, and where there was kind of this house back in the 30s. The doctor killed his wife with a hammer, went after one of his daughters, but she escaped with the son, and the house laid empty for years. And people said, oh, there's still a Christmas tree in there with wrapped gifts under it. And there was all this kind of, story around it. And this woman kind of breaks all that down and takes the mystery out of it. And yeah, it was very fascinating.
It sounds creepy. I think it.
And I'll say one of the other fun things I did was I had a girlfriend in high school for 2 years. And she contacted me at the beginning of the year and she said, my oldest son is getting married in October. Do you want to be my plus one? And so I went to the wedding with her at the Detroit Yacht Club, and we had a great time.
That's a beautiful place.
Oh my God. Yeah. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. So that's my story. Those are my likes.
Turns out Chip's bisexual.
Not really. Just gay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to out you.
I think the folks know.
So let's take a minute here. Let's talk about what we didn't like. So Chip, I'm going to start you right off. What
okay, good, because I don't have a lot. I'm going to go back to a lack of good or interesting movies in the first 9 months of the year. Like just,
boy, that's the truth.
I mean, we had Oppenheimer, we had Barbie, but and even I love the Marvel movie. I like the superhero movies and stuff, but even those, I was just kind of like,
How many times can you hit another superhero with a building before you get tired
travel
of it?
back in time?
Exactly. I was like, I don't know what alternate universe we're in anymore.
Oh, wait, is that another stone that you got to find? Great.
Oh, great. Oh, did you lose that again?
Put it in a pocket or something.
Exactly. I don't know. Those costumes.
See, this is why
capes, no pockets. Yes.
But yeah, and then suddenly I looked up and it was like, oh, there's like a bunch of movies out right now that I would like to see. And of course, none of them are coming to mind except for Wonka. Oh. Which I would love to see. But yeah, it's like suddenly everything's out in the last quarter, as always. Everybody's got to make their fourth quarter look really big.
Exactly.
So
we made a good movie.
Look at all the money we made. We're making money.
Love it.
For me, what I didn't like was my job. And I'm not going to be very specific about it because that's kind of unprofessional, but it took up a lot of room in my head. It was very frustrating and anxiety producing every day. And after a while, your body kind of can't really handle that anymore. So I no longer work at that company. I'm starting a new job in the new year, and we're excited to see where that goes. And I'm hoping that it won't, because it really, you had said something earlier similar to that. Like it just, there's a number of good things that happened,
right?
But this thing was so awful and took up so much time and so much of my brain that's probably why my lists are so tiny.
Yeah, because and the thing is, I keep a journal, and I went back in my journal, and I was like, oh, this was a good thing. This is a good thing. And then all of a sudden I had this long list. I'm like, look at all the cool things I did this year. Yeah. So, yeah.
So I'll leave you at that.
All bad.
I love it now. I have this little list of, I'm like, I got to look up the menu. I got to figure out Brick and Brine.
It's a restaurant. Okay. Oh yeah. It's right down. It's at the Radisson Hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so good. Let us know when you go.
Definitely. So these are the things I did not like, and my list isn't super big as far as TVs, movies, entertainment. Again, I liked Succession, and I also despised Succession for the reasons that I liked it. I did not like the Songbirds and Snakes movie, and mainly because I thought they did it backwards. When they did the original Hunger Games series, they split Mockingjay into 2 movies. They should not have done that. And they condensed this one into a single movie. They should not have done that. They should actually have made this one 2 movies, and they should have made Mockingjay 1 movie. I continue to hate movie theaters because they just freak me out. Oh, look, it's Jan Stauffer. Hi, Jan Stauffer. Happy New Year to you, too. I hope you are well. So take care of yourself, lady.
I enjoyed your podcast on Songbirds and Snakes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just... it bummed me out because I love that book and was really looking forward to the movie. So yeah, movie theaters still are disappointing to me. People are rude. People are idiots. I don't like movie theaters. Um, Cocaine Bear was a disappointing movie for me. We had a show about Cocaine Bear, and you you
Oh, I
you
like that
you
one
built
too.
it as the as a fairy tale, which was clever because maybe if I
Modern
would have
fairy tale.
thought about
It's
it,
the modern
modern
fairy
fairy
tale.
tale. Yes, but
Grimm
other than
Brothers
that,
on Cocaine fairy tale.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. Streaming services continue to piss me off with your extra fees and your commercials. Just
Yes.
suck it. I hate you guys all so
Mhm.
Oh,
much.
and Prime just did
It's
that.
just cable. It's just
Mhm.
cable all over again. Yeah, now
Mhm.
Prime wants an extra $2.99 a month,
To take out
so they can
commercials.
show us commercials.
You
Otherwise,
know,
you're gonna see commercials because they're not fucking rich enough. Sorry.
Jeff Bezos, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jeff Bezos, and your stupid fuck you. Sorry, I'm just pissed about that.
Wait, let me add that.
And I
Fuck you, Jeff Bezos. Okay, good. There
Okay,
you go.
good.
and I really hated the movie No Hard Feelings for so many reasons.
Yeah,
Mainly
man,
because
that movie. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Ann Brothers. Say it.
I was like, this should have been a no-brainer. This should have been a hilarious, awesome movie with the cherry on top being Jennifer Lawrence. And man, I was like, did somebody like write this movie on the back of a napkin and said, all right, good enough?
Yeah, that's exactly what
Mhm.
happened. We got J-Law. Good enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
She'll fix it.
she'll fix it. Look, we get to see your boobs. Yeah, gold star. Ugh, so
In the
disappointing.
movie that we saw your boobs. Sorry, that was sorry. The other things that just in my life, we lost a lot of family this year, and it really sucked. Then of course
I'm so
Boone's Ears
sorry.
Bakery closed, and then the Women's World Cup was a fiasco. And then moving back and forth across the state, up and down, above and below the state of Michigan, it was not awesome. So, like I said, I'm going to keep that list short because I don't want to talk about it because that's what I do best, not talk about stuff. So
Jenny's gonna turtle.
I'm going to turtle because I'm good at that. So let's talk about what Ann didn't like.
Let's see. I didn't like having a crash course in being in charge of someone else's estate. Man, like I said, thank God for Kim and Shannon and Kristen for helping me with that because, man, there's so much you don't know, and I didn't even know what I didn't know. So, oof, I hated that. Digging up the past for personal growth. I did not like that. Did a lot of that this year with professional help. Again, more professionals. Boy, that sucked. Losing people I loved. I didn't like that. Colorado 2023 was the worst. Thank you, Sam, for being a bright spot in that. Proof positive. What I did not like was proof positive that I cannot bend people to my will.
That does suck.
I know.
Even if it's for their own good.
Especially because it's for their own good.
Yes.
Man, and did I get smacked? Like up smack, down smack, punched in the
Sideways
gut
smack.
about that all the time, all
Short
year
punch.
long. Yeah. And then I didn't like that the following places closed: Go Ice Cream, Unicorn Feed and Supply, and Boone's Ear Bakery. I'm very
Okay, back
sad
the
about
truck
all
up.
those.
I
Go
was
ice
less-
cream closed?
I was reading your list last night,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Go Ice Cream and Unicorn Feed." I had to go look online.
Mhm.
When I go to Ipsy, I love those two.
I know. I was
I
like,
know. Wait, when did they close?
Go Ice Cream closed in early the fall, and Unicorn Feed and Supply, they're still online, but their last day was the 24th of December. And I was like, where am I going to get all my stickers?
Right,
they were
or
sticker
posed with the
central.
big unicorn.
Exactly. I need more stickers.
And Boone's Ear.
And Boone's Ear. Yeah. So these are things I didn't like. I try to keep my list short. But yeah, those are the things I did not like. But some of these things that I didn't like, man, did they take up a lot of headspace this year. So
I can imagine.
Well, considering how long you stood in line to get a cake at Boone's Ears,
I loved that reporting. That was awesome. I was like, because I was going to go, I thought I'm just going to go get one cake. And then when you were like, I got in line at 3 in the morning.
At 8 a.m. I was the first person in line. I was so happy.
I'm not going to get a cake.
And people would drive up.
'cause-
They would they walk by me like, what time did you get here? I'm like, 8 a.m. And they're like, they look at me with pity. And I'm like, soon I'll be eating cake and you'll be sad.
You won't have no cake, so shut up.
Shut up.
I got some cake. You didn't get.
I'm eating it with my face.
It's so funny because, they announced it on like a Tuesday that they were closing, and then of course it started to matriculate that they were closing. And Mom texted me on Wednesday. She's like, "Well, maybe you could go over there and get a cake for Aunt Patty's birthday." I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
There's no way.
I'm
Because
like,
at
I
that
got a
point,
cake,
that was
but I didn't want to share it with anybody.
well, and it's so funny because that was that first couple of days where it was just a frenzy. It was before they kind of figured it out that they weren't going to be able to be open. Like everything was going to have to change that last month being open because people were literally running as soon as they announced it. People were, you know, literally buying everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, and I don't blame them because that place is amazing. So
It is
there you
amazing.
go. All right. Well, we were going to talk about resolutions next, but we are already at
Oh,
so I think what we're
Yeah.
going to do is we are going to table that for next week. So I
Oh,
think we're
yay.
going to talk resolutions next week. We might as well because because that first week of January, everybody's still hot on their resolutions. So what I did last week is I went ahead and I asked the people about how they felt about New Year's resolutions. And so I made a poll, and you had these choices. You could be, I'm perfect just the way I am when it comes to your New Year's resolutions. I'm incapable of self improvement. The next one was I'm all resolutions all the time. The next one is I'm all in until January 11th. And finally, never made a resolution, never will. In the end, the big winner of that list, 38% of the people that responded said, I'm all resolutions all the time.
ooh.
Second
Ooh.
place was I'm all in until January 11th because that's last.
Exactly. And that's most of us.
Yeah.
And that would be most of us. So we were going to do a geology show for next week. I was going to talk about volcanoes and plate tectonics, just go full power nerd. But instead, you guys, we're going to come back with our Viva La Resolutions show. We'll talk about those resolutions. We'll see how your resolutions are going after it being the first week of what is essentially, new year, new you season. In fact, Joe pointed out something to me today that tomorrow is going to be the first day of the week, the first week of the year, the first something of something. There's a lot of firsts tomorrow. So yeah,
Technically,
first day.
it's the first week of the week.
Technically, yeah, but we all know that.
Oh.
We
not
all know it's
exactly
not true.
think about
We
it
all
that
know it's
way.
the
Yeah.
Sunday.
It starts on Monday for all of us normal people.
That's right. So I'm going to just scroll through all that fun stuff that we had planned for the rest of the show. But like I said, this is a whole show all by itself. So what I will do is I will jump right to this slide right here that tells you how you can start your New Year's resolutions off right by supporting the Brothers Sisters for free. You don't even have to give us money. All you have to do is follow us on Facebook or Spotify or Instagram or YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on the Spotify, follow us on the Facebook, and you should tell everybody you know should do the same thing. Even if you don't like listen to us all the time, you can still follow us. You can still subscribe because
Mhm.
those are the numbers that we are looking for. And that's one way that you can help us leave our current professions for something new, like podcasting.
Jenny,
no.
for a second.
Again,
So that's one way that you can support us. And unlike streaming services, we don't have any ads yet.
no ads.
We're not going to charge
I
you an
almost
extra
feel like
$3.
I know. So yeah, we don't have any ads. There's no commercials. We're not going to charge you an extra $2.99 a month for the service that you're already paying for. Ugh. And
The
we're not
worst.
going to turn into the new cable because that's exactly what's happening. Because by the time it's all said and done, you're going to end up spending $150 for all of these streaming services, just like you would for
Mhm.
cable.
Mhm.
So,
I hate you so
yeah.
much. You're making me hate.
I know. I suppose I could just go to the library and read a book.
Well,
Wah, wah.
so
Yeah, I
sad.
know. So, anyway, that's our hour. So we are going to go ahead and sign off. But before we go, we are going to say Happy New Year!
And
Happy
fuck
New Year!
And fuck
2023.
2023.
And if you make me hate 2023, make me like 2023 because 2024 is so bad. I'm going to come back here, kick your ass.
Who is Sam? No, Sam, you're the bomb.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Jenny. Jenny's not on. We can't hear Jenny. So Sam is one of Jenny's former teaching friends. Well, she's still her friend.
There, I'm back. Okay. Yes, she's still a very good
Okay.
They
friend
used
of
to
mine.
teach
She's
together
a-
at school in Littleton, Colorado.
Okay.
Oh,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Jenny. We lost you for a minute. So I was explaining who Sam was.
froze. So,
Did we lose
thank
Jenny
you for
again?
explaining
Oh, there
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
Sam is one of the greatest people ever, and she's my friend, and
Awesome.
she's just super awesome. And like I said, she saved our trip. She saved our Colorado trip this year. Thank you, Sam.
She
Thank
did.
you,
She
thank
did.
you.
She offered us a lot of support that we didn't realize we deserved.
Like that's a
And
thing.
you do. I think that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that.
They're like,
so you're
"So
going through
who's-
the thing.
Who's there for you? And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
nobody.
What?
Is there somebody that does that for you?
Really? Somebody's supposed to be holding me up from below. What the hell? Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, everybody, we're gonna sign off, and I hope everybody has a wonderful New Year. Please be safe. Don't drive drunk. Or if you're already home in your sweatpants, hopefully you're pairing your gray sweatpants with your blue hoodie or something like that.
Yes. And if you're one of those people that feels you need to discharge your firearms because it's New Year's Eve, please don't.
Yeah.
It's irresponsible. Check out one of our last podcast a few podcasts ago where we interviewed a responsible gun owner, and she was like, "Don't do that."
Yeah. And unfortunately, we live in northern Kalamazoo, where there will be much gunfire tonight because that's how Northside celebrates. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just gonna eat.
Anyway, I know I'm gonna eat. So we have fondue waiting for us as we speak. Fondue and tasty beverages.
Not
All right, you
fondant.
guys.
That's right.
Exactly. Fondue. Anyway, I'm gonna throw the brand up behind us. I'm gonna bring in the which one do you want here? Do you want the dance pop one in?
Yeah, dance pop, of course.
Okay.
Well, here we
it
go.
comes. Hang on. This one's a slow build. We'll get
It
there.
is.
Wait for it. There it is. Yeah. Okay. I'm taking that one all the way up to 55. There it is. All right, guys. We are the Brother Sisters. You've been listening to Smart Dumb Fun with the Brother Sisters with special guest, entertainment expert Chip Moehle. We are signing off. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's hope 2024 is awesome.
That's right.